recordings anywhere. Perfect timing. Thank you very much. So it's a special meeting today, and to facilitate this special meeting, we have someone who joined Toastmaster when I was running behind girls in my school. Please put your hands together to welcome the distinguished Toastmaster and the president of our our club and the host of our day, distinguished Toastmaster Brahm. Brahm, the screen is yours.
Thank you, Mr. Sergeant at Arms. Now, while you were running behind girls, I was in Toastmaster. So now you have to teach me how to do that, okay? Do you hold private lessons? I've been too busy with Toastmasters. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Global Icebreaker Challenge. Today is going to be very, very different. It's a very different meeting. It will not follow any normal protocols, nor will it follow any contest protocols. It is a very unique protocol, and you will see it as it unfolds. I will tell you a little bit more about it as we go along. We put out a word that we needed speakers to speak at the Icebreaker Challenge. And within hours, I believe, every spot was taken and more people wanted to clamor and come on board. And in fact, I got a slew of people who are standby in case somebody falls down with fear and can't speak. I got a slew of speakers as standby as well. It's a joke. No, but I do have speakers on standby. I already do, 3-4 speakers. Welcome, everyone. So we will not be introducing the evaluators at the beginning to read the objectives, even though the objectives are on the agenda. Have a look. They're speaking from pathways. Every speech in Toastmasters has to be from pathways. This is not a formal contest, hence the objectives are on the agenda. So have a read there what the objectives are. We will not be reading the objectives. We will not be introducing the speaker, however, so that will be like a contest. We'll be introducing just the speaker and the title of the speech as normal. So that is what we are doing today. We have a chief judge as well. And I don't know if he's in the room yet. Mr. Chief Judge, are you there? Patrick?
Yes, I am.
Could you please spotlight our chief judge, please, Patrick?
Oh my God. I needed to...
Sergeant at Arms?
Just to find him first.
All right. So while they're looking for Patrick, it'll be in the list of participants on the right-hand side. Just type his name at the top. You don't have to look for him, and then just spotlight him. And if you're having a problem while I'm talking, I'll do it at the same time. How's that? So that I can multitask. There we go. So there's Patrick. Hello, Patrick.
Hello. How are you?
Patrick is all the way from Nigeria, District 94. And he's the immediate past district director for District 94. So he knows his stuff and what he's doing. Now, of course, if you know District 94, it was Smedley's distinguished district last year, and Patrick was the leader, leading his district to Smedley's distinguished. Congratulations, Patrick, and welcome. All right, we have a little bit of a sound problem here, so that's not a problem. Patrick, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
So any brief words from you? I mean, I know this is not a real contest, it's not a judge's reading of rules or whatever, but anything that you would like to say?
I want to thank you and the Leadership Club, Leadership Speak Club, for the opportunity to be here with you again. It's always a pleasure to spend time with you. I want to congratulate all of the contestants that will be participating in the contest today. And I want to wish them the best of luck. They should just go ahead and have fun. And to our members and the guests, everybody present in today's meeting, I'm looking forward to an exciting meeting, and I know it's going to be so. So let's sit back, not just learn, but also have fun. Thank you very much. Back to
Thank you,
you.
Patrick. Thank you very much, Patrick. So, ladies and gentlemen, I have only one helper today, and that is Peggy. I mean, who will be timing. There are other people, of course, helping in the background, like Sergeant at Arms and co-hosts and so on for spotlighting and etc. But Peggy, you're the timer. What will you be doing today, Peggy?
I will be timing the speakers and the evaluators. So for the speakers, you will see me put on a
Could you please spotlight? Could you hold a second? Mr. Sergeant at Arms, is there a problem in spotlighting, or is there, can we help you out there? Oh, thank you very much. Okay, so Peggy, go ahead.
You'll see the timer background behind me. I do have my hand raised, so that should put me in your upper left-hand screen. When we get to 4 minutes in the speeches, you'll see green. When we get to 5 minutes, you'll see yellow. And when we get to 6 minutes, you'll see red. So that is what I'll be doing during the speeches. Now, during the evaluations, I will be putting my green on at 1 minute, my yellow on at 1.5 minutes, and my red at 2 minutes.
And thank you. Just remain there, spotlighted for a minute. Now, what will happen is this is a very tight schedule here. So when a speaker will reach 6 minutes and 30 seconds, this is not a real contest. So when a speaker reaches 6 minutes and 30 seconds, we will mute you and we will remove you from the stage at 6:30. So make sure you are within 6:30. As an evaluator, exactly at 2 minutes, when the red light goes on, you'll get 5 seconds more, and then you'll be muted and removed from the stage, because time is of essence, right? So that's what we're going to do. Now, as an evaluator, we've already put out some instructions. You will have a recommendation and a commendation, and that's about it, you know, and be very focused at the same time. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I still need to reset my camera here. Okay, so now, are you all ready? 10 speakers. Sandy, you are the second speaker, so don't shake your head. Relax, have fun, and just have fun, okay? Our speaker number one, if you'll spotlight our speaker number one with me, Samantha Richard. Thank you.
I spotlighted myself.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, speaker number one, Samantha Richard. How Batman and the Transformers saved my life. How Batman and the Transformers saved my life, Samantha Richard.
Good morning, evening, afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and most welcome guests. On Friday, January 21st, 1984, Emily Irene Richmond was blessed with her fourth daughter, Samantha Richard, who was later baptized in the Catholic Church and was legally registered as Samantha Dominic Richmond. Now, Samantha was a big baby. She weighed in at about 4 kilograms. For those of you who are not familiar with the metric system, just suffice to say, she was a big baby, but she was still within the range of an acceptable weight for a baby, so doctors didn't think much about it. However, as time went on, Samantha's mom noticed that she started developing squint eyes. For those of you who are parents or paid attention in biology class, you will know that first year of a child's life, there are certain developmental milestones that they have to reach within specific timeframes. So of course, when her mother noticed the squint eyes, she was a little bit alarmed. But lucky for her, her close sister, Valerie, was a medical doctor. And so she called her in and they had a discussion. She was still really small. So they were like, okay, they made the decision. Anyone who looks after her just needs to take an extra care for her. And that was it. And For a while, everything seemed to be going fine. Samantha started crawling and she was navigating her space for the most part. Okay. And then one day, her mother was in close proximity to her and she called her name, Samantha. But instead of looking at her, she turned her ear and used that to move into her mother's direction. That raised the yellow flag for her mother. Not too soon after, whenever Samantha heard these two sounds coming from the television, that's the first one, and the second one, she would do exactly the same thing. She would turn her ear and follow the sound. But this time she would go really close in front of the TV. The red flag completely went up for her mom. And she called her sister in and said, something's wrong. Samantha's aunt, Valerie, decided at that point, okay, let's run some tests. She had a hunch about what was wrong with her. But this was 1984. This was Lusaka, Zambia. This was Africa. Medicine was just at a very different state than where it is now. They did an examination of her eyes, and they decided to do an examination of her heart. And what they found was, when they looked in her eyes, they realized the lens, which is supposed to sit and through which you look, was actually down here. So she was only using approximately 5% of her eye lens. When they listened to her heart, they heard a trickle, what they call a leak, which is indicative of the fact that her valves in her heart were not closing properly. And so a hole was beginning to grow. Samantha was still less than 12 months old. The news was broken to her mother, but a formal diagnosis could not be made, simply because of the times that they were living in. Now, you'd notice I'm talking about myself in the third person. When I was about a year old, they said, look, there's nothing we can do about the heart at this stage. There's just nothing. But we can address the eye issue. And so I had those massive granny goggles from about 12 months old. And my mom always told me how I ripped them off because I didn't want them on my face. I was a baby, what do you expect? But whenever I heard the theme song to Batman, which was the first sound I played, and the Transformers, which was the second sound, I realized I need to keep that on. It was only after we moved to South Africa in December 1994 that I was formally diagnosed with Marfan syndrome, which is a very rare genetic condition. And as it so happened at the time, they realized blood pressure medication, yes, blood pressure medication could help slow the expansion of the hole so as to increase longevity of life. Why am I sharing this story with you today? Because in life, we're given yellow flags and red flags. For me, it was very vigilant mother, Batman, and the Transformers, and of course, a very intelligent, now deceased aunt. They saved my life. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Thank you, Samantha. Great speech. Our next speaker is getting ready. Here I am. Hello, Sandi.
Good morning, Brahm.
We'll wait for the Sergeant at Arms and the crew to spotlight you with me. And then we'll start. And just relax and breathe, my dear. You're ready? Okay. So a request to the Sergeant at Arms and the crew is you should spotlight the speaker coming up next to me as I introduce them and then take me off. Thank you. Our second speaker is Sandi Emdin, member of Leadership Speak. Why should I? Why should I? Sandi Emdin.
Are you like me in the morning? Do you wake up to the sound of an alarm? For most of my adult life, I did wake up to the sound of an alarm. And for most of my adult life, I became best friends with the snooze button. Every morning I'd set my alarm, and then when it would go off, I'd hit the snooze. And some mornings I'd hit it 2 or 3 times. I bet I'm not the only one here today that has a snooze button issue. Well, today I'd like to share with you how I cured my habit of hitting the snooze button. It was after I joined Toastmasters and became a self-directed reader and came upon the book by Robin Sharma. And it was called The 5 a.m. Club. Are you kidding? He was proposing that we should wake up at 5 a.m. because it was the best part of the day and it would set the tone for our day. And there were probably other reasons too, but just never really sold me. 5 a.m. was just a bit too early. Years progressed, and I came upon another book by Hal Elron called The Morning Miracle. And I was ready. You know what they say, Brahm, when the student is ready. And the 5 a.m. time wake-up call became my new wake-up call for the morning miracle. Now, this habit for me was on again, off again, mostly in the beginning off, and mostly in the beginning met with resistance. Until I realized that at 5 o'clock in the morning, if I did get up and I did sit down and I did have a coffee, I would drink that coffee all the way to the end, Mariana, without microwaving it, without forgetting where I left it last. And this became a new habit for me. It was the habit that made me feel like I had a whole hour to myself to do whatever I wanted. And that was almost 20 years ago. As I am an avid reader, I have read many books on habits because I am a habit addict. And I always question why I should start a new one or make a new change. But when you start a new habit, like waking up in the morning and having that hour to yourself and deciding how you spend it, it's delicious. It's really delicious. So after I got rid of my resistance, I started reading a book by James Clear called Atomic Habits. And he explained that when you create a new habit, it's really easy to stack another one and another one and another one onto the habit you already have. So now, 20 years into the practice, getting closer to mastery, I wake up at 5 and I've added meditation, I've added journaling, and I've added 10 pages of reading, which it's not going to catch up to Vinod because I think he reads 10 books a month. But I have read already 7 books this year, which I would never have done had I not got rid of the resistance, created that new habit, forgot about asking, why should I? Why should I? I would love to ask you, fellow Toastmasters from around the globe, invite you. Maybe it's not the time, maybe it's not 5 o'clock, but if you're busy and if you never have the time to read that book or to knit something, or to drink a coffee from start to finish, which for me is something, believe it or not, I didn't do for years. The microwave, I'd microwave my coffee 6 times before I finished it. So why should you wake up at 5 in the morning? It can change your world, your day, your morning. It can ground you. Mostly it can make you feel like you've got more time, like you've got this time all to yourself. And mostly because nobody else on the planet, well, not nobody, there aren't that many people up at that time. There's hardly any traffic. So even if you live in Dubai or someplace where there's a lot of traffic, it's quiet in the morning. It's time to set your intention for the day. It's time to affirm how powerful you are. It's time to just breathe into that day. And let me tell you, as a person who hasn't always been quite so near mastery, when you don't do this, when you sleep in, hit the snooze, just skip the exercise, skip the journaling, and skip the reading, not only are you not self-directed with anybody you interact with, but chances are you're cranky, irritated, and not as innovative like we are here at Leadership Speak every Saturday. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, if you think, why should I wake up early, that early, and make that a new habit, I hope I have persuaded you just a little to perhaps take up the practice of waking up early. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning. What's up with Robin Sharma? I'll have to speak to him. We should all wake up at 10 in the morning. Thank you. And being self-directed, absolutely wonderful. So we will pause a little bit here in my enthusiasm to go fast. We forgot that there are people who are making some notes, including the audience, I suppose. So we'll pause for a little while here and see how we can contend with this a little bit while people are making some notes. Okay, our next speaker, who is also the Sergeant at Arms in our club, and all the way from Namibia. Welcome. Hannah Schmidt. Memory Lane. Memory Lane, Hannah Schmidt.
I am in the process of relocating and thus need to declutter. But this takes ages for me. I find old photos. I find a camera with my world tour in 2017. I find school reports and many other items I thought had gone missing. Instead of systematically continuing with my clearing up, I sit down and reminisce over the years gone by, going down memory lane. Mr. Toastmaster and all of the guests. I look at some of these photos and realize that I look so much younger on these old photos. And I am convinced that if you look at your old photos, you will experience the same, looking so much younger. I grew up on a farm and my parents gave me all the freedom to roam around and be a happy preschooler, mentoring me and my late brother. This changed when I ended my school years. Being sent to boarding school, I felt constrained. I felt restricted. I felt bridled to the point of, I call it rebellion. going down memory lane. I nevertheless enjoyed my school days. I excelled in sports and athletics. I became a teacher's pet. I just loved to be on the outside, breathing the fresh air compared to sitting on the school bench all day. Going down memory lane. Through a blind date, I met my husband. And after a few more dates, we got married, raised 5 children, still enjoying the outside world as we went camping whenever there was an opportunity, showing our kids and teaching them to look after Mother Nature and to care for her. After many years of hard labor, so to speak, I entered my golden years. And I enjoyed this stage of life and leisure to the fullest, instead of dreading the years before passing on to higher grounds. Ladies and gentlemen, retirement no longer means the end of your full life. Contrary to becoming a potato couch, a couch potato, a clock watcher, or just a good for nothing, watching TV all the time, going down memory lane, I now regularly visit my children in the US, New Zealand, and in the UK. Sadly, since 2020, I, and actually all of us, have become compelled to stay at home. Again, this did not stop me from twiddling my thumbs and doing nothing. Instead, my laptop opened another exciting and exhilarating world for me, that of visiting Toastmasters and my family worldwide. I adapted very fast to all these gadgets and communication platforms via Zoom. I have called myself a Zoom hopper. I have set myself the goal in visiting as many Toastmasters clubs as I can. I would like to share some advice with all of you. While still in your working days, never ever leave anything undone and say, oh, when I'm on pension, I've got all the time. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the greatest fallacy you can think of. And hopefully you need not to declutter. Life is not how far you travel. It is about what you discover, even on memory lane. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Life down memory lane, amazing. And now how you found Zoom to communicate. Amazing. We'll just pause a little bit here while we find the next speaker, Udhaya Kumar. Hello, Udhaya, can you hear me?
Yes, Brahm.
I can hear you and see you as well. So now, Udhaya, he's from, I believe it's called Electronic Toastmasters.
Yeah.
Electronic Toastmasters Club in India, Chennai, I believe. And I spoke at the club last week, Sunday morning at around, 7:30 in the morning? Yes, Sandi would be proud of me. But it wasn't 5 in the morning. I have been requested many times to speak at 5 in the morning. So this was just preamble to make sure that a minute passed by, and it has. So, Udhaya Kumar, am I rich? Am I rich, Udhaya Kumar?
Thank you, Brahm, for the wonderful introduction. Raise your hands if you have big dreams. What are your dreams? You dream to buy a luxurious car, or you want to own a latest iPhone, or are you planning to buy an individual house? If you are raising your hands, then I'm no different from you. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, today I'm going to talk about a topic which is closer to my heart. I was born in a small town south of India. During childhood, I don't like reading books. I don't like studying. One thing I really like is playing a lot of games. I was extremely shy and reserved person. Playing games made me mingle with people. It changed my reserved nature. During school, I used to travel by bicycle. I used to travel 20 kilometers daily. It was my favorite part in my school days. Those 20 kilometers feels like 2 kilometers. After schooling, I moved to a college in a metropolitan city. A small towner, reserved boy in a city was a big game changer. It was completely different to me. People in the city are living in a busy life. Their lifestyle is really hectic. Obviously, no person to talk to. I was always alone in the room. So I visited a nearby park and I noticed people are doing exercises, walking, and I noticed a group of people laughing at each other. I don't understand why they are laughing at each other. Later, I realized they are doing a laughing therapy. It's a wonderful way, an innovative method to bring mental wellness just by laughing. In city, no one uses bicycle to commute to college. It was my favorite mode during my school days. So I used to travel by public bus. So I started losing my physical fitness in my college days. The only way I keep my physical fitness is playing a lot of cricket. I used to play a lot. After college, I joined a company. My lifestyle become changed. I used to work on the night shift and I become insomnia due to that shift. I started taking food at different times and I started gaining more weights. I become very lazy. I have no new friends. And I started using lifts. I don't stair climb also. So all these things made me to get a good belly. That is what I get in my job. Things are getting changed in my job life and I get more weights. One day we admitted our family member to a hospital and I spoke with the doctor. I can arrange money through bank loans. Could you please save my sister? And the doctor replied with a hard word. Udhaya, money can't save people. With money, you can live luxurious life, but it can't save people life. After hearing this, my mom said, the richest person in the world is one who live a healthier life, not with a lot of money. After that incident, I started understanding I'm in a really bad lifestyle. I need to work. I'm losing my riches little by little by living in a bad lifestyle. So I started exercising daily. That gives my physical fitness. What about mental fitness? Like Sandi said, I woke up in the early morning, 5 o'clock, and go to beach. That is the best thing in my life. You can see absolute quiet and silence. Seeing the sun rising was a wonderful thing. And you can see the fishermen sailing on the boat and the glistering sunshines was an amazing thing. And the biggest musical instrument in the world is sea. It was so rhythmic and it is played by the moon's gravity. A wonderful thing I experienced. So it gives my mental health. Meditation early morning in the beach was a wonderful thing. So I realized my richness, what is it? And I'm working towards that. So ladies and gentlemen, I'll like to ask, I'll give you 3 tips. How you can start uh, your healthy lifestyle, how you become more richer. So first tip is do exercise daily. Wake up in the early morning, go for a little walk. Before bed, do a little stretch. Do a little cardio. Second thing is take a nutrition food, healthy food. Third thing is you can add the physical activity in a day, like or whatever activities you do. Like you can climb the stairs. That is the one way you can get your fitness, climbing the stairs. Then you can use bicycle to commute. So these are the ways you can implement your fitness in day-to-day life. So fellow Toastmasters and guests, I'm getting richer every day. Are you? Are you Toastmaster of the day from Memone?
Wow, am I getting rich every day? You know, I take most of that advice actually in exercising and eating well and preparing my own meals. Those of you who are on Facebook see twice a week, perhaps 3 times a week, I'm posting, this is what I've cooked today. And so Sandi has found a new friend now. 5 o'clock club is forming right here, Sandi. Robin Sharma would be very pleased. Please tell him. Come over and see us. So our next speaker is Mrinal Kanti Ghosh. Hello, Mrinal. How are you?
I'm fine.
Now, Mrinal Kanti Ghosh is the president of Globetrotters Toastmasters Club, but he's also a member in Leadership Speak. And he's creating the most amazing graphics. So he's on our PR team, though he's overwhelmed with our requests. However, on Sunday, this coming Sunday, which is tomorrow at 9:30 a.m., same time as this meeting was, 9:30 a.m., they're having the 50th meeting of Globetrotters. And international president Lark Dolly will be there. Fursey Gotuaco, world champion of public speaking, finalist will be there to speak. And they've asked me, I don't know why, to go and speak as well. But so I will be there in my bow tie, of course, maybe a different color. Come and watch. Ladies and gentlemen, Mrinal Kanti Ghosh, upgraded version, Mrinal Kanti Ghosh.
You and I are not very different from this beautiful pen. Just like this pen is unique, you all are unique. All of us something special that makes us so beautiful. Do you know what makes you special? Yes, you all are right. Your own story. Good morning, fellow Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster, and dear guest. Please raise your hand and tell me which part of your life is the most beautiful. Yes, you all are guessed absolutely right. Your childhood memory. Just flashback to your memory lane. I can remember I was born in a beautiful city. Name is Kolkata. Previously, it's known as Calcutta. This was the second largest city after London during the British era. So one of the most cultural city which I have known. Yes, absolutely right. This childhood life actually holds a countless happy memory that's always rejuvenate us. So during my childhood life, I was shy. Sometimes I feel fear. I don't know the reason behind that. And also stammering, book lover during my childhood life. And I always tense during my exam. I don't know reason. Fever definitely come in the time of results. I hope some of us have some kind of, so same thing happened with me. So that's all about life. So this is, I'm talking about first life. Then I'm talking about my beautiful moment of my life. I never forget. Yes, it's college life. I know this is the most romantic life we have with all of you. So my subject is science, so I always try to do something unique. I try to do some funny things, try to explain. So theoretical knowledge into the practical implementation. So sometime I did some experience in the lab of chemistry until I remember. So teacher actually called my father, your son tried to implement a new experiment in the lab. So I never forget. So I always try to upgrade something new. Like when you install your software, you upgrade your version yourself. So I also try to do things. That's why only. Now I'm telling about next part of my life. After completion my graduation, I think this is the most challenging life. We are confused. We don't know. What should I do in our life? Everyone has challenges, whether in the right path. Then I prepare for my MBA. Simultaneously, I prepare for my science in the geology. Then suddenly I changed my entire direction from north to south, from east to west. So I joined MBA. So it's almost a different ballgame. A shy introvert person now are is going for an extrovert person. A person till graduation not visited within, so only within state, and now travel almost thousands miles away from home. So that's my first outing after my graduation. And after that, so till now, almost 10 to 12 years, I already most covered more than 14 countries. And almost I cover actually all the country. So thing is what I was telling you, you have a dream, challenge, definitely you have. In our life, ups and downs is part of life. A person who first time talked with a girlfriend after a graduation, using a jeans pant after graduation, such kind of introvert, a simple guy. So right now, in a totally different ballgame in the corporate world, I know that I'm not till reach in the success of the ladder of the corporate world. I just upgrade my versions. I try to learn new things. So that's what I'm doing right now. For digital marketing, I need to learn new things. And just I try to implement in my project also. So like a software upgrades in the mobile phone, in the laptop, same thing, I just need to use it's my body parts also, something new. And then always a crazy me, I always self-motivated and do my best. I know that in our life, ups and downs is a part of life. But what life you want to choose is your hand. And that's, you just follow your path in the right direction. Nobody can stop you. You just upgrade yourself, upversion yourself. And with this, I just want to tell all of you that, have you installed your software for upgrade yourself? What do you think? Toastmaster of the day?
Wow. Upgrade yourself. Get new software going. Amazing. And at Leadership Speak, that's what we do. We are upgrading ourselves. Our focus is on leadership development. And if you join Leadership Speak, it's so prominent that because it's an advanced club, as you can see, even this meeting is much more crisper than you're probably used to in a community club. That's why I'm very crisp in this meeting. We are an advanced club. Hence, some of you may not be used to the crispness of the way I am approaching this. It is for the benefit of our members and future members. This is how we operate, is very, very crisp, yet have fun. And that's what I'm trying to do as best as we can in a contest-like atmosphere. It's not a real contest. So welcome to Leadership Speak. Thank you. Upgrade yourself. Come and learn about leadership right from day one. As soon as you join, you'll be pushed a little bit as compared to other clubs. Our next speaker, Yuniati, is from Cairnhill Toastmasters Club, all the way from Singapore. Welcome, Yuniati. And she's got an amazing icebreaker today. By the way, she's actually very hardworking. She was involved in the Global Leadership Impact Summit And she jumped in and did so many different things that we wanted and promoted. Just amazing person. Yuniati is very hardworking. She really wants to succeed in Toastmasters. Yuniati, from rock style to freestyle. From rock style to freestyle, Yuniati.
Thank you. Please give me a moment. Hello, fellow Toastmasters. Do you know how to swim? Please raise your hand if you know how to swim. Great. Now I want to ask Meena, what swimming style do you like? Mrinal goes.
Freestyle.
Great. For me, the only style I knew was rock style. It's not rock star, it's a rock, like a rock. Go to the water, down to the bottom. Meaning, I didn't know how to swim until years ago, my best friend convinced me to learn swimming. The first lesson was bubble, bubble, and try to float. I was so excited. Turned out I knew how to float. Then I learned. You know how long I need to learn? From rock style, I learned swimming freestyle for 6 months. But only at the shallow side of the pool. Until one day, my coach said, Uni, I think you already know how to swim one lap, this side to the other. Really? I was skeptical, but I tried. I swim slowly from the shallow side to the deeper side until in the middle where the depth was 2.5 meters and I'm only 1.5. I looked down. I see how far the bottom was. I was panicked. I forgot how to swim. I forgot, is it leg first, hand first, breathing first? And suddenly, I was transferred. Like I was in a time travel. Bring me back when I was 10 years old. I was drowned when I was 10 years old. It was so scary, so dark. I feel helpless. Are you okay? My coach's voice bring me back to the present. No, coach, I am not okay. I grabbed his hand. He sat me down and I told him my drowning experience. He looked at me and said, Uni, don't dwell on the past. It's different now. You already learned how to swim. You're not drowned. You can tread the water. Keep learning. Keep swimming. So that day, my coach not only teach me about swimming, but about life. I remember before I came to Singapore, in Indonesia, I have a good job, but I was too overwhelmed, underappreciated, underpaid. I was like drowning. I hit the rock bottom. Then I came to Singapore. It's not easy. It's a struggle. But I keep learning. I reinvent myself. I took a job as a caregiver and then as a nanny. And now I'm as a personal assistant. And it's not enough. Now I also studying accounting course because I want to reinvent myself. Learning swimming, reminder for me that I can be anything I want if I want to learn and reinvent myself. So, fellow Toastmaster, maybe you never drown like me in the water, but have you ever feeling so stressful, underappreciated, overwhelmed? Or you maybe at one point you hit rock bottom. Remember, you're not helpless. You can do something. You can reinvent yourself. You may struggle a little bit. It's okay. It's okay to reset yourself, to restart, to do something new, learning something new. So you can change from rock style to freestyle. Even you can be a rock star. Back to you.
Which one is this one? No, Gmail.
Thank you, Yuni. We can certainly, of course, swim the currents of life, and we need to learn how to do that because life keeps changing. And you can become freestyle to rock star to freestyle.
Why is your email not coming?
Because
Could you please mute yourself if you're not speaking? Maggie, please. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, our next speaker is going to be Ram Lachanpal. Ram? Hi, Ram, can you hear me?
Okay, ready to go. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and most welcome guests from around the world.
Ram, wait.
Okay,
I haven't introduced you yet.
Okay,
can you hear me?
I thought you said Ram, and I thought maybe perhaps, but however.
Can you hear me? Looks like you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear you. Can you hear me loud enough?
I can see you as well.
Thank you.
Ram is, of course, from McAfee Toastmasters Club right here in District 86. And he's a regular at Leadership Speak. And I think he's going to be putting in his application form after this. Ladies and gentlemen. Oh, of course. And before I forget, Ram was the Club Coach of the Year in 2019. Club Coach of the Year is very hard to get, and he was the Club Coach of the Year, so thank you. Ram Lachanpal, questions answered? Questions answered, Ram Lachanpal.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and those judges, I was looking for a solution to speak better, to present better. The year 2016, the month, April, and the date, April the 1st. Who knows what April the 1st is? April Fool's Day. The time, 7:15. The weather, blistering cold, only -28. Baby, that's cold. My destination, this fool, Ram was going to a Toastmasters meeting for the very, very first time at Richmond Hill, Toastmasters Club. As a guest, I confirmed that I was coming to the meeting, and I was expected. And with a bang, with a bell, when I got there, ding, 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 got everybody's attention. and everyone like a choir echoed, "Welcome to Toastmasters Club, Brahm." That impressed the hell out of me. Is this part of the solution that I was looking for? Will this club offer me what I seeked? After that, I went and sat like a little boy, little mouse in the corner, wondering what's coming next. I had no idea as to what's going to happen. Attending meeting for the first time is always a challenge. And this certainly was. I was quivering a little bit. My hands and palms were sweaty, wondering, going on table topics, master, this master, that madam, and all that. That confused the hell out of me. I didn't know what is going on. But then all the different things started. The Toastmaster started welcoming everybody, and all the little things, while looking at the agenda, it made sense that the club is well organized. You have a Toastmaster. You have all the roles in order. Everything was filled. And that looked like a club that will give me the solutions to the answers that I had. Then the meeting, before you know it, it was over. Then they gave me a 3-part form to fill out. That would be a membership. But I wasn't totally confused. I was totally confused. I said, I'm not quite ready to do this. On the first night, no, I'm going to go back. And they had a limitation of 3 visits for free. And after which time you have to decide whether you want to be a member or you do not. Then my travel agency sent me a email stating that there is a special in Cuba. Would you like to travel for 469 days, 7 days, all inclusive? And I said, how ideal. This would be a great time to pick up those magazines that they gave me about Toastmasters, to go there and really study what Toastmasters is all about. Arrived at the resort with the wine and the women and the songs. We were having a ball there. And little by little, lucky for me, I found a couple from Timmins. And I'm still in touch with Tim and Susie. And they are great Toastmasters. They told me exactly, Ram, you could not go wrong. This is the greatest thing since sliced bread. You have got to don't jump in with both feet. So when I returned, I went and joined Richmond Hill Toastmasters Club. That's on May the 1st, 2016. It's been 6 wonderful golden years by having joined Toastmasters Club. And I will not look back. And I will tell everybody else. And I say this all the time to people. Go. It will not, you cannot find a cheaper education for such value. It's great, great value. Go get it. You'll never regret it. The day you regret it, I'll give you the money if you think it's for garbage. It's been great. I'm enjoying this moment. My life has changed. I speak better. I teach others as a coach, still now. And I really, really think the Toastmasters brand sells itself. You don't need to sell too much. When that person calls in inquiry, you know that they already sold. They already know the brand. They know what we do. It's a matter in which how we enroll that individual lies the key to doing it. And there are steps how to do it. And I'll cover that in another Speaks One time. Was my questions answered? Yes, with a resounding yes, it was 100%, 120%, you may say. This is a great organization, a wonderful. I was looking for something, I found it. And I will forever talk to anybody and everybody about Toastmasters day and night, about the wonderful organization. And you will also, like me, find answers to the questions that you seek. In a club like this, you couldn't go wrong. It only brings in variety and all the good things that are happening every day. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you. Now our next speaker is having some internet problems, so we will shift him at the bottom. And if by that time he hasn't connected well, then we will have a replacement speaker, who is on standby currently. Looks like he's just joined, but we'll let him sort that out. We'll move on to Rozy Rana for now. Talha, will move you to the end if you don't mind, or the next speaker while you settle down. Or are you ready? Are you ready, Talha?
I believe if I can move one slot down, if that's possible.
Sure, we'll move you one slot down.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, just to make sure about the connection.
Absolutely. Our next speaker is my very good friend all the way from Kenya, because I'm from Kenya. So, you know, there's a common ground with Rozy Rana. She's the past district director in Kenya, and she belongs to a couple of wonderful clubs where I was invited to go and visit past a couple of weeks. I had a great time. I actually spoke at one of the clubs that she is in Kenya. And here she is today to speak. Rozy is going to speak about rose. What else would Rozy speak about but roses, right? Can you hear me, Rozy?
Yes, I can.
And I can see you and hear you as well, which is wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, Rozy Rana. A rose by any name is still a rose. A rose by any name is still a rose. Rozy Rana.
The village of Muranga is famous for three things. One, juicy mangoes. Two, the glorious view of Mount Kenya. And three, the cradle of the great Rozy Rana. Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests. My parents had planned for 3 children. I was the 4th. Man proposes, God disposes. Accidental as it may be, I would not call my birth as unwanted. Muranga is home to the Agikuyu tribe, for whom, if one has more children, one is more prosperous and the entire village prospers. When my mother could no longer hide her bulge, the entire village celebrated. My unscheduled entry into this world was as if everyone had won a jackpot. I was named Rosmina, meaning the gift of love. But alas, just as we Indians find it difficult to differentiate the V and the W sound, my Kikuyu friends had trouble and interchanged R's and L's. So they struggled to say Rosmina Rana. I call this the red lorry, yellow lorry syndrome. Try saying red lorry, yellow lorry several times fast. Well, after many attempts and getting their tongues into a twist, I was nicknamed Shiro after a wonderful old ancestor. I have lovely memories playing with my friends and particularly walking with my dogs Simba and Chewy. A dog is truly man's best friend. Don't you wish the dog would say the same about man? I moved to Nairobi, the capital city, at the tender age of 11 to Kenya High boarding school. This was like moving from Timbuktu to New York. And then the urban folks started laughing at my rural mannerisms. You see, I ate with my hands. They ate with silver forks and knives. I wore round, flared midi skirts. They wore trim mini skirts. I drank juice. No, I drank juice, which is the word does have a letter I, which stands for fresh juice. They drank packet juice. The food just tasted different. But thanks to my survival instincts, in no time, I transformed from a tomboy full of fun to a bona fide city-slick chick. No pun intended. One day, my friend said to me, "For someone so short, you have such a long name, Meena." And thus, I acquired a new nickname, Rozy. Fellow Toastmasters, today I respond to 3 names, Rosmina, Shiro, and Rozy. Please take your pick. I have now, after school, worked in the coffee industry for 30 years. Are you trying to calculate my age? Please have some respect. A woman's age is very personal. But suffice it to say that I have grown through the ranks and climbed up the corporate ladder from a PA to human resources to finance, and today I'm the managing director of Kenya's finest brand of coffee, Domans. I have a super team, and I'm one of those rare weirdos who looks forward to Monday mornings. The coffee keeps us alert, awake, innovative, and perky. In 2005, I joined Toastmasters. There were only 2 clubs in my region, undistricted. I soaked in all I could. I saved up and traveled to conventions. And I became the first DTM in 2014 in East Africa. This made me desire to have more people benefit from our program. 5 years ago, with a clarion call, I rallied the teams to form a district. And voila, today, District 114 East Africa is a district with more than almost 2,000 members and 90 clubs. As I've taken you down memory lane, I realize how far I've come from my humble beginnings. But fellow Toastmasters, with all of this, I have little free time to juggle with, but I love to travel. And when I do, I'm happy to say I've been able to visit some of the countries our members here are from. Singapore, India, Canada, US. I'm still waiting for Nigeria. It's on my bucket list. Have you ever been to Kenya? I'd like to invite you. This is the origin of our club president, dear Brahm Memone. He can attest to the warm, pristine beaches and the wild safaris where you will see the big 6. Lion, leopard, elephant, buffalo, rhino, rosy, and fellow Toastmasters, last, saving the best for the last. You will taste the juicy apples, bananas, mangoes, and take home with you delicious, delightful, delectable Domans coffee. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Rozy, you're making me homesick. And the L and the R, yes, I went to University of Nairobi, and I studied in the University of Nairobi. Mathematics and meteorology were my majors. So yeah, would you believe it? That was my first profession. I'm a hydrometeorologist. I can tell the weather. Then I became an accountant now, an entrepreneur, and so on. Our next speaker, by coincidence, he is also in the process. I think they're still not yet a fully fledged district. District 122, Talha bin Hamid, has been a proponent in creating District 122 in Pakistan. His club is a Quantum Toastmasters Club, which is all about, I believe, science, going into the future in a futuristic machine or something, quantum leaps. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Talha bin Hamid, the end, Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day. Isn't this where all of us are headed? In the very near future, this obituary will flash by. Talha bin Hamid, 1978, 2022. And what will happen afterwards is, I will be buried in a grave like this, because this is how people of my faith are buried, with friends and family standing around. And you know what? Only recently we've shifted to a new house. And it kind of looks like this. The street looks like this. Don't we have the nagging feeling that that grave was a slight bit of improvement over this? Of course, we are hoping that the infrastructure will improve, but it sure will take some time. And now that I'm buried, my soul is flying. It's free to roam. It's free to explore both space and time. It has taken a leap into the quantum realm, where it is free from material bounds. And that is why, fellow Toastmasters and guests, I see my loved ones and their reactions. My mother, right there. Somehow she's not as sad as he should be. Because let's face it, I haven't been a great source of pleasure for her throughout my life. And my wife is worried sick because we moved into this house, which is our own, from a rented place, because people said, what if something happens to you? How will your family survive? They can't pay the rent. Well, there's no need to pay the rent now, honey. So my death, at least, proved the benefit of having your own house. And anyone from subcontinent will perfectly understand that. There's my sister. She's obviously quite sad. She's 7 years younger to me, and I am her only ventilation outlet whenever she needs to complain about everyone, her in-laws, her family, her friends, her colleagues. And then there are my kids. And I would imagine that the biggest issue facing them right now is, who will take them to school now? They will either need to go with their mom, or they will need to have some other arrangement, which is not very attractive, because I had the good car in my house and my son is too young to drive right now. He's looking forward just 4 more years and I will be able to drive the nice car. This is my room. It looks like this right now because we're in the process of shifting. And there is the bone of contention right there, my gaming PC. Because I used to game a lot and I had a very hefty, well-equipped gaming PC, and all of my kids now have their eyes on it. Asfan, being the eldest, thinks that it is his birthright because I handed over the thing to him while I was alive. But who knows, now the sisters have gotten better at gaming. These are some of my friends, and they're in my house, in my wake. They're sitting there and they're thinking, oh, what a weight has uplifted from our chests. They were tired of the constant negativity and complaining that I used to do. And now they cannot be helped but relieved, but they have to pretend to be sad a little bit. After all, it is the social custom. My alma mater fails to issue an obituary in time because it is closed on Saturdays. My colleagues hear the news months later. The Toastmaster fraternity is torn. My home club holds a commemorative event, but the district leadership is divided. They say that, okay, he was a Toastmaster. He had 5 DPMs. He served as the district director, but now he's no more. There's a whole new leadership. Why should we spend so much time on him? but there were some people who are supporting me anyhow. I fly and visit our old house in Karachi, which we used to own and which I love. Fly higher and higher and higher. The whole city is laid out in front of me, but I don't stay here. I instead travel to my hometown, Quetta, the beautiful city in Balochistan where I spent my childhood. It's beautiful winters, it's blue mountains. And I visit my school, Beacon House Public School, Quetta. It's still the same, only much neater. And then I run into my father. He's still waiting for me. He said, "You abandoned me, but I'm still waiting for you because I want to take you to your destiny." And then I ran into God and I asked for a selfie and he asked me, "Are you stupid? Don't you remember what happened to Moses?" So I don't have a picture of that, but I realize that this is heaven, being with your loved ones. Over to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Amazing. What a unique icebreaker to start from the end and to look backwards. And we got introduced to a lot of things that Talha is all about. And so it was a real icebreaker at the same time, as well as an obituary of what it would look like had he to not be here. Very unique. Amazing. Now, our next speaker, Imran Rana. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I'm sure I'm audible and visible.
Yes, you are. Now, Imran Rana had the guts to challenge me to go and speak at his club, Urdu speaking club, of course. And I don't speak much Urdu. I learned it by watching a few movies, Bollywood movies. So it was very broken Urdu. And I did an icebreaker at his club. Hence, of course, I invited him to come and do his icebreaker here. Now, you may have noticed it's Imran Rana, but there's no relationship to Rozy Rana. Imran is in Karachi, Pakistan, and Rozy is in Kenya. No relationship, but maybe the Rana name has some connection somewhere. I don't know. Possibly.
Yes, we may have brother and sister relationship.
Related as Toastmasters. Now, Imran Rana, of course, is from Karachi Toastmasters in Karachi. And today he's going to be speaking English, I believe, not rather than Urdu. Ladies and gentlemen, we are running a little bit late, as you can see from the agenda. But no hurry. Take your time, Imran. 6 minutes is and 6.5 max. Imran Rana, the seventh one, Imran Rana.
If I'm asked to write a few lines about my friend Talha, then I could have written a very long story. But if I'm asked to write about myself, then it would become a very challenging task. This one sentence could give me a good start. And thanks to the Global Icebreaker Challenge, that gave me another chance to reintroduce myself between this very supportive audience. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, there were no light striking. There was no thunderstorms, and not even a glass was broken. It was a normal day, and my relatives becomes more envious, and their expressions was like, "What? Not again?" When they heard the news, the seventh one was born. Yes, I was the seventh son of my parents. Before me, I had 6 brothers and 2 sisters. And after me, my parent had 2 more sons. I was born in a place called Doli Khata. Weird name, isn't it? But let me tell you the importance of this place. Myself and one of the greatest leaders of Pakistan, Benazir Bhutto, we both were born there. And thanks to the political party, they were capable enough to find the birthplace of this great leader, if not the assassin. As I mentioned that I belong to a very big family, all my brothers and sisters are married, except one, brother number 3, as he realized the after effects of marriage. Living in a big family has its own merits and demerits. As I was neither the oldest nor the youngest, this means your work multiplies thrice. You not only have to do your work, your own work, but you have to do your elder ones and younger ones' work too. I remember I felt safe and secured, not in my locality, but at school too. Have you ever watched the movie Band of Brothers? We were actually the living example of that movie. Whenever we had fights, all my brothers stand together side by side and ready to shed the last drop of their bloods. Did I mention before marriage and after marriage, they stand behind their wives. We never needed outsiders, as we were good enough to have our own cricket and football team, and we called it Rana 11, and we won a number of matches. At school, I was average in studies, but great in giving tuitions. Some of my students are serving as doctors, engineers, and in the armed forces. I am blessed with a beautiful voice, and I still have that. Whenever there was a singing competition at school, teachers looked for me and requested me to please participate in that contest. However, due to a bad incident, which I won't go into details, now I am a bathroom singer. I work in Century Paper and Board Mills Limited, a leading manufacturing company in paper and board. Being almost a professional accountant, my responsibilities is not likely to conventional accounting like debit in and credit out. I'm responsible for providing the top management with timely and relevant information for decision making. In 2010, I decided to surrender my bachelor's life and got married with a beautiful girl, and she is still beautiful. All my brothers were not capable enough to break the record of my father of having maximum number of children. Each brother have an average of 4 children. We added 3 beautiful angels in our life. Hasher, the eldest one, who loved to ask mind-boggling questions related to his favorite animals, dinosaurs and crocodiles. Hamza, the second one, who found his mother in me and would love to have all his chores done by yours truly. And the third one, the little one, the angel one, the daughter Xenia. She is about a year old. She loved to take her share from my breakfast, and she loved to grab my beard, my poor innocent beard, and snatched it, and she feels very happy. It's a long story how I got into Toastmasters, but now it's been 7 years serving this wonderful community. And I learned a lot of things, and I'm still learning. And my wife, she still hates Toastmasters. Fellow Toastmasters and guests, not everyone have the adventurous and spectacular lives. Each one of us is a universe with a story unlike any other has ever told. I invited you in my universe and would love to be invited in yours. Over to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you, Imran. It looks like we have a football team in his family, all the brothers. Amazing.
Minded.
Well, thank you very much, everyone. That completes our 10 speakers, ladies and gentlemen. Icebreakers, that was the icebreaker challenge. Now, what is an icebreaker challenge if we don't have judges, right? So the judges are going to now complete the ballot and then forward it and then fill in the form and so on, which they've all been briefed on WhatsApp. So those who have access to it will do that. Those who don't have access to it because they were not on WhatsApp, of course, will not be able to do that. So Mr. Chief Judge, you can put some notes or encouraging people in the group that is the evaluators and the judges group and get that going. Now, I'm going to launch the poll for the audience as well, like we promised, as to now in this poll, there's 3 different sections. You'll go to vote for the winner that you think is the winner, second place, and of course, the second runner-up or the third place. And I'm about to launch that poll. And while we are doing that voting, please do vote all for the first, second, and the third place. And while you are voting for that, I will pause for a second and tell you a little bit about Leadership Speak. Leadership Speak was created this year in February, and from launch to charter took about a week. And we had 20 members and we chartered, and then we had 29 members currently, or 28. Of course, like everything else, September is here. We'll see what the numbers are on October the 1st. We are looking for more members. And if you want to become an advanced speaker and a leader, really, to really practice what it means to be a leader. And it doesn't really happen by standing up and speaking. It's something very different that happens in our club, in the dynamics and so on, where you really learn about leadership. And so I welcome you. There's a guest form that is being posted. Please fill in the guest form. Let us know what your interest is, or just fill in the guest form. If you're not able to cast your vote, there's nothing much I can do. Imran, I can see that. I don't think we've, just let me check. As far as I know, you should be able to from where I stand. I can see the voting is still going on. Perfect. Keep going, keep voting. Now, I have a surprise for you. We have a world champion of public speaking finalist. He was a finalist at the convention 2022 in Nashville, and he's a member of Leadership Speak. Now, I know, Fursey, you are a member of several clubs, but what is your home club, Fursey?
Future Champions Advanced.
Future Champions Advanced, which is in region 14, I believe,
yes,
in China.
Hangzhou, China.
Hangzhou, China, which is where we are currently. He is going to tell us what is an icebreaker. And I hope, and we've never briefed him, but I hope it's going to be more about a seasoned speaker, what it could be, perhaps whatever it is that he's going to tell us. I'm really looking forward to it because he's a world champion of public speaking finalist. I'm sure we'll hear some great nuggets. Ladies and gentlemen, please keep voting while Fursey is going to tell us about that. What is icebreaker? Fursey Gotuaco, all yours.
It's time to do another icebreaker. What? I gotta do another icebreaker? Toastmasters, can we just get rid of these icebreakers and just get straight to those level 5s? But if you do that, well, then you're kind of missing out on an opportunity, aren't you? Many of us think of the icebreaker as some minute little project, some little speed bump on the way to big things. But when you're meeting someone for the first time, the icebreaker is critical. Like they say, you can't have a second chance at making a first impression. So here's your chance to make another first impression. After all, this is a different pathway, isn't it? This is a totally different route for you to take. Maybe this time you'll try persuasive influence. Maybe this time you'll try humor. Maybe you'll try this leadership or that leadership or collaborative experiences. A chance to recalibrate, a chance to find a new pathway. So why don't you try something new? Why don't you try looking at yourself in a different light? Why don't you try seeing yourself just a little bit different? Why don't you take an opportunity to see what you look like with a different light on? Maybe take off some blinders. Maybe the way that you used to look at yourself could be just a little bit different as you try this different path, this different avenue. An icebreaker breaks through the ice, but do we really understand what ice is? Do we really understand how deep under the waterline ice goes? You see just that little portion, but what else is underneath? When you look at yourself in a different light, what else is underneath? Just how far below the waterline are you willing to explore? Just how far below the waterline, below visibility, are you willing to let us see into yourself? Many of us who've been around Toastmasters for a few years, and especially our home clubs, we would argue, well, everybody knows me. Well, then don't you think it's time to dig a little bit deeper? Imagine an onion. Everybody understands what an onion is, that wonderful, ancient plant that we can eat and use to spice up our food. Why don't we spice up our own stories for just a little bit and take an opportunity to peel back an onion? Now, most of us chop up an onion. We slice an onion, but do we ever really peel it? And as you peel it, you go further and further down. If we were to peel back layers of our personalities, how far down could we go? If I dig deeper into who I am, if I peel back the layers of safety, what do I see? And what am I willing to show others? Under what different light will you see me? For example, stories of loss or pain. We like to think of the stories that we tell in Toastmasters are those of great successes. But what happens when we have moments of difficulty? Real moments of difficulty, real moments. You know, when you peel back an onion, it starts to make you cry. What if you had a story that made you cry? I was about 5 years old when I broke an object of my grandmother's. I blamed my sister. And my grandmother looked at me in the eye and she said something I'll never forget. Are you a coward? I didn't even know what a coward was, but I knew it wasn't good. And I knew I never wanted to hear my grandmother's voice say that to me again, even though she's passed a long time ago. Are you willing to share that story with the rest of us? Because everyone has a story of them and the day they learned the most important lesson of their life. Are you willing to go that deep? Are you willing to peel back the layers? Just how far are you willing to go in your icebreaker? Tell us something new about yourself. Tell us something brilliant about yourself. Tell us something vulnerable about yourself. We'll be right here listening and ready to welcome you. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Fursey. Wow, amazing. Now we can all do better icebreakers. The idea behind icebreaker, especially after you've done your first initial one and now you're a seasoned Toastmaster, what does that involve? And you can use the same techniques in your other speeches as you go along and keep getting better and better speaker. But at Leadership Speak, you not only get to be a better speaker, to speak with conviction and confidence, but speaking with conviction and confidence is a key leadership trait that you are here to learn at Leadership Speak and leadership skills and development. Ladies and gentlemen, we will break for just 1 minute because we are, as I said before, running a little late. This meeting might go on a little past 11:30 because we have a string of evaluators who are also judging the speakers on a judge's ballot. And we will announce who the winner is. The chief judge is taking care of that. So, Mr. Timer, Madam Timer, 1 minute on the timer, a break for just 1 minute to stretch and quickly get that cup of coffee if you wish, or the bio break.
Hey, Brahm, I'm sorry to leave, but because of my eye condition, I'm not allowed to be looking at a computer or other things. So I'm still under
understand
restrictions, sorry. But I love Percy's and I love the entire program today. I must say, I must admit, I took the time off, but I love every minute of this program, and especially Ram and all the other speakers. I could name them one after the other. And Percy, you were the winner in my eyes. I had you as number one, but you're still a winner in our club and around the world. And one day I hope you'll be the winner. Thank you very much, Ram, for the opportunity.
Thank you, Nazim. Have a great day and do relax.
Bye, everyone.
Take care. So now, Sandi, do you actually get up at 5 o'clock in the morning?
Yes.
Wow.
I set my alarm.
Bravo. I should be coaching with you. You should coach me on getting up at that time.
Well, I'm pretty sure that I go to bed 2 or 3 or 5 hours earlier than you. You are a night owl.
Well, there you
I
go.
won't say minutes.
I go to bed at 12, 1 o'clock.
Let's
You're right.
reconvene the meeting. Brahm, Sandi, I would definitely like to speak more about the books that you are reading. And welcome back after the short bio break or stretch break, whatever you would like to say. Over to you, Toastmaster Brahm.
Thank you very much. We will move on to evaluations. And our general evaluator, a very good friend of mine, great Toastmaster from honeymoon Toastmasters, where she's the president and vice president of education at Leadership Speak, and she knows how hard I push her. I do. And she was really growing a lot at Leadership Speak, and she can attest to that after 11:30. If you're still around, stick around. We want to talk to all the guests. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mariana Burka.
Thank you very much, Brahm. And yes, I will attest to that after we finish this, because as you know, we are very tight on schedule. And just a reminder, evaluators, you have 2 minutes. Green light at 1, yellow at 1:30, red at 2 minutes, and you have 5 seconds grace period and you cut off. So put it together fast. And that said, I'd like to introduce our first evaluator, AJ Heron from Colorado. Please welcome AJ.
Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster Mariana, Leadership Speaks Toastmasters, guests, and Samantha. Thank you for your story of a most special spirit brought into this world on January 21st, and how Batman and the Transformers saved her life. I appreciated your speech structure that held to the Toastmasters guidelines of opening, greeting, you address the audience, capturing the audience interest. The child has squinty eyes. Is it a red flag? Introduction. You introduced us to this child by describing the subtle symptoms of a disease not yet known. And then you transitioned, and at 5 minutes, you revealed the child was you. Your message not only introduced us to you, the Toastmaster, but also raised awareness to these subtle symptoms of Marfan syndrome, a double icebreaker. Well done. And with that, you showed us how you recovered and blossomed into the Toastmaster in front of us today. To stretch, explore teasing titles, perhaps how Batman and the Transformers saved her life to further draw us in. Use a simple greeting and check tech before you speak. All in all, in summary, solid knowledge of speech construction, strong body language, consider teasing titles, use a simple greeting, and play more with tech. Samantha, congratulations on an icebreaker that introduced us to Samantha the Transformer and how Batman and the Transformers can possibly save another child's life. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, AJ. Wonderful. And our next evaluator is Nikita Winkler. Please welcome Nikita from Spain.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thank you very much. I am Nikita from Namibia, very proudly. I do live in Spain, and today I'm evaluating Sandi. Sandi, we know by now that she is an avid reader. She has read 6 books this year. She's also a late-turned early riser meditator, a 5 a.m. coffee club, and from start to finish, very important information, she's humorous and charming. This is what I got from Sandi's icebreaker speech, very inspiring. What exactly inspired us? What inspired her? These books inspired her, and they too can inspire us. Sandi left us with the 5 a.m. Club, Atomic Habits, and the Miracle Morning. Sandi, this is what you did very well. You inspired us. And why should we? Well, the question I had all the time is, how did you? How did you? I think as a comment, I would have loved you to explore a little bit more on how you did it. And you already mentioned something during our break that you go to bed 5 hours earlier than Brahm. So now we know how you did it. Another way to explore, something else to explore, is your space. Because why? Because when you stand up and we can see more of you, we see more of you. And that's what the icebreaker is about. And this is what I challenge you to do, is explore your space, explore your movement, because you, like me, have lots of energy and we want it. We want to see all of it. Otherwise, thank you very much, Sandy. It was an inspirational "Why should I?" speech. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Nikita. Excellent. Our next evaluator is Rahat Khan. Please welcome, Rahat. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you, ma'am, Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, distinguished guests, and especially my target speaker. Good evening. Memory Lane. What an inspiring speech by Hannah Schmidt. It was full of learning and kept all the audience captivated, revealing every aspect of the speaker's life. She showed great optimism, discussing the beauty of diversity, and showed her love for the Mother Nature, which she inculcated in her kids as well. The beginning of her icebreaker speech, with the help of props, was marvelous, and her enthusiasm, which told us about the childhood, the young age, her marriage, and even the golden age of her life, all were wonderful. She gave us the message that never ever leave anything undone, so that we can also have the golden lane to survive and cherish during the time of our retirement. So as far as the clarity of the speech was concerned, it was exemplary. Her vocal variety was well accomplished. She excels in eye contact and comfort level. Her gestures seem to be emerging, and also she was successful in developing awareness and interest among audience. But as there is always room for improvement, so she can work a bit more on her gestures and try to avail the stage and use more body language. At the end, I would like to suggest that we can learn from the example of my target speaker, that she has joined Toastmasters in this age and she is connected with the people. So over to Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Raj. Wonderful. Thank you. And our next evaluator is Fabiola Cleofa. Please welcome Fabiola.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, Toastmaster Udhaya Kumar, and fellow Toastmasters. I'm richer. I'm richer with 3 distinct tips that I got from your speech. Sleep, get enough sleep, eat healthy, and exercise. The title of your speech was very captivating. And while you were speaking, we would think about money, getting rich, but these are some valuable tips for us. At the end, you had a struggle to give that punchline of this is the value that I'm going to give you. You stumbled about, I have like, I want to ask you, I have something. No. Exercise, do this part that you really memorize your closing. That will make the impact. What I liked also, your English not being your first language, you had an excellent grammar, and you even were clear to what you were saying. Working on the presentation mastery, I think these are things that you really have in your advance to continue building on being a great presentator. What I would encourage you to work on, the pauses and the transitions. At a certain moment, you lighten up your face when you were saying about the laughing therapy. Maybe you can incorporate more of those relaxed features in your face that also connects with your audience. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Fabiola. Our next evaluator is Sharon Jenkins. Please welcome Sharon.
Thank you, fellow Toastmasters, and especially you, Mrinal. I'm going to evaluate you based on content, delivery, and language. First of all, your title was very positive, upgraded version. A lot of us are weird about trying different things, but this presented it already in a very positive format. You structured your speech by different portions of your life, and you started with childhood memories, which were happy memories overall. But you mentioned also that you were shy, fear, you were stammering, you love books. So there's a lot of different memories there for us. And then you mentioned, just like upgrading software, you decided to upgrade yourself with an MBA. And you did it really well. And you had this look of contemplation on your face, similar to should I or shouldn't I, but then you went ahead. One area there for content, I would suggest maybe removing the part about the countries, because you mentioned 14 countries, but then it didn't go any further. For delivery, your smile is your asset, Mrinal. You have a great smile and you don't appear as if you're going to push it down our throat, which I appreciate. You had a very enthusiastic voice, which suggests you love life, very confident, and the message to us was very encouraging. I would suggest you slow down your delivery. I had a little hard time following what you were saying, and I want to hear it. So slow down your delivery and center yourself on the screen instead of being over to one side like this. Make sure you're centered. Language, fabulous. So beautiful. So you emphasize words. You use words such as introvert, upgrade my persons, immerse yourself. Summary, you encouraged us to upgrade ourselves by showing us how you upgraded yourself. I thought it was really well done. Just slow down your delivery and center yourself. Congratulations, you got the message across. Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And our next evaluator is Nurul Munawara. Please welcome Nurul.
Yes, thank you, Mariana. Yes, first of all, congratulations, Yuniati, for your icebreaker speech. It was a very good opening. You started with the swimming shoot. You know, you really, you were really enthusiastic in opening your speech. It was the good way of opening with asking questions from the audience. So you were able to interact with the audience. And also throughout your speech, you were talking about the swimming experience, how you were feeling difficult, and how you were swimming swimming the pool, and how you got scared, how you went bad experience with droning, and how you talked about how you talked to the coach about the droning experience, and how you came up with fear of swimming. And it was a wonderful speech. I really liked the speech from the beginning till the end because of your facial expressions and the body language, and the voice variation were excellent. So I really enjoyed the entire speech. Only thing is, what I found was there is only one recommendation I can give you, because I felt that you had more stage movement. Of course, you need stage movements, but overstage movement really interfere with the speech, so that you can work on it. Because of the enthusiasm, you were running front and behind, side by side. So that made little bit of disturbance to your speech. Other than that, it was an excellent speech, Yuniati. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nurul. And now I would like you to welcome Charlene Stafford.
Thank you, Mariana. Good morning, and especially Rome. Now, Rome, you talked about questions answered and your experience in joining Toastmasters. Now, I might have missed it in your speech, but I didn't quite catch what your questions were that Toastmasters answered for you. I think when you're doing an icebreaker, it has to be more personal about you yourself, not maybe what my question was when I joined Toastmasters, but your own. So I think you need to watch what an icebreaker is for or what your purpose of your speech is. In this case, I missed those questions and I would have liked to have known that. You are great at describing details of the things that are happening, the little things that you picked up in a Toastmasters meeting. I was like, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's it. That's what I see too when I go to a Toastmasters meeting. The thing is, though, if you're only given 6 minutes to speak, you might want to watch what details you dragged out. I remember Darren LaCroix doing a workshop talking about describe the things that move your story along and leave the other descriptions away. A lot of people know when April 1st is, so you could have just said a cold, chilly April 1st, 2016, I'm at a Toastmasters meeting. And that would have just brushed off a little bit more off your speech so you can make sure you can always get in an excellent ending. I love your promotion of Toastmasters. You are positive, you are confident, and you have a wonderful listening, a wonderful sounding voice. Thank you for the opportunity to evaluate you.
Thank you very much, Charlene. Our next evaluator is Brent Pattison. Please welcome Brent.
Thank you very much, Mariana. Talha, great speech. I want to start by just saying, I think that opening a speech with something that everyone has in common, which is that we're going to die, is a great way to connect with your audience, because without a doubt, we all have that in common. And that's a good thing for in speechcraft, is to create something for your audience. And you did start it well. And I really did enjoy how you articulated that into it. As far as how could you improve, because the reality is you're an accomplished speaker. Your clarity of speech is fantastic. Your use of diction and the choice of words, the vocabulary to describe the content of your speech is superb. You have very effective body language to help articulate that already fantastic clarity of speech. So I'm going to pick on some of the technical details, because you obviously are trying to utilize the technology to enhance your speech. And let me start off with the first thing here that I could, if I was to make a suggestion, is to work on your lighting. You're an excellent speaker, but I'm not able to connect with you as effectively because of the lighting. I can't see your face. 2, your use of virtual backgrounds. One thing to keep in mind when using good body language is that when you use virtual backgrounds, sometimes our hands disappear, and we don't want that to happen. So be careful how you're going to use body language with virtual backgrounds. 2, the type of virtual background that you're using. These are 2 different screenshots I took, one on my primary screen, one on my secondary screen. I think you were using PowerPoint as a virtual background. I happen to use different resources, like using the built-in virtual background and use images within Zoom in order to do that. Other individuals use software applications like and it'll create a better, more effective virtual background than the beta test PowerPoint as a virtual background within Zoom. That's it. Because the reality is the speech was good. What would I do to really challenge you in this speech? You had a fantastic closing. The statement,
Brent,
this is heaven, being with your loved ones. The only thing I'd add is just tie it back into the intro. It would have made that speech just so much more fantastic. Thank you, Mariana. I know we're short on time.
Thank you very much, Brent. Excellent. Thank you very much. Our next evaluator is Meena Mohankumar. Please welcome Meena.
Can I
have my speaker spotlighted along with me, please? Hello? Can I please have my speaker, Rozy Rana spot? Okay, thank you. Rozy Rana, I really love the comfort with which you started off your speech. And with that confidence and comfort, you carried your speech all throughout. With great storytelling elements, you brought in the culture, food, lifestyle, and habitats in Kenya. For people who are from Kenya, you rekindled the memories. And for me, I'm at India, you made sure that you've been persuasive to help us know how Kenya is, how beautiful it is, and we need to visit Kenya. You had the great persuasion element in your speech. Along with that, you also shared your personal element of how culture reflected in how you're being called as Rozy Rana and 2 other names. That's a personal touch you gave in your story, which I really liked. And you had great energy, great voice modulation all throughout your speech, and sprinkled with humor in 3-4 instances, which is what I could notice. You've been a great speaker. I have 2 I feel you have 2 points for improvement. One is hand gesture. You really have great voice modulation. Everything is going good. Sometimes you clench your hands and it seems you're not moving your hand freely while you're giving your speech. It seems a bit distraction. Start moving your hands along with your speech. Second, your body language. You did bring it at one instance. You told I was a tomboy and then I was a chick. You winked your eyes. You moved your body a little. Go ahead, move it. Move your body. Go free with it. It adds a lot of resonance to your body language and speech, and we would love to see that. So this, you left an amazing element. Being a coffee lover, you left the elements of Kenya in me after your speech. I would definitely try to taste Dorman's coffee. And let me pick a sentence. Astane Sana. I believe the pronunciation is right. This is a part of Kenya you have left in me. Thank you. Looking for your upcoming speeches, Rozy Rana.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Meena. Excellent work. And our final evaluator is Ajita Shivam. Please welcome Ajita.
The 5th one. No, I'm not talking about our speaker, Toastmaster Imran. Good evening, everyone. Today, I'm privileged and honored to know about the 7th one, Toastmaster Imran, who triggered my childhood memory as the 5th one in my family. It was a well-structured icebreaker speech with a smooth transition and, of course, with humor sprinkled here and there. My mentor always says, preparation and practice will help you to be a perfect speaker. Through your content, I see your preparation, and through your confident delivery, I can see your practice. And by following the objective of the speech, I could see a perfect speaker in Toastmaster Imran. Congratulations on your successful completion of your icebreaker, Toastmaster Imran. In the structure and transition and simple language, I could see how you prepared yourself for this speech, and the vivid imagery of your incidents made me to travel along with you in your childhood journey. Kudos to that. And in your delivery, I could see your confidence through your ease, body language, and voice modulation. Just I would like to add one more P. You could have added few pauses here and there, because when I was traveling with you, I couldn't move to your next chapter because you were so fast. So you could have added few pauses after each incident. And I'm glad to see you have followed the outline of an icebreaker speech in your speech preparation, and you followed the to the T. So congratulations on that. Glad to meet a confident, humorous singer and a speaker today. And I know very well about Toastmaster Imran, the 7th one. Thank you. Over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Ajita. And we finished the evaluation part of the meeting. I would like to ask for the poll, if you could I guess, Brahm, would you please put the poll out so people can vote for best evaluators? And that gives me just 1 minute for a full evaluation of our meeting, which is of course not going to happen. All I want to say that thank you very much for everyone to come to today's meeting and participated. And I think I can say it safely that we had an excellent meeting. It's going very well so far. And with that, I would like to give back the word to our Toastmaster of the day, Brahm Memone. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Now, the exciting part, of course, that you've all been waiting for, right? As to the results, as to who did well, and we'll be announcing the first, second, and third. Now, there were some ties, and we did not break the tie like in a contest at all. And so we will mention the positions as they were voted by the audience as well as the judges. Now, what would you like first, the audience or the judges? Anyone? Shout out.
Toastmaster,
Audience.
can we have Brent's name on the list as well, though he's not there?
For Brent, it was, if it was Vinod is Brent on the evaluators list. Okay. So if you're voting for Vinod, you are actually voting for Brent. So I'll keep that up, and we'll announce that after the speakers, actually the evaluators. So you can keep voting or adjust your vote, whatever you need to do. So what do you want, the judges or the audience?
Audience first,
Audience.
followed by.
Audience
followed by-
first. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the audience has voted. And in the third place was a tie. And the tie in the third place was Sandi Emdin and Hannah Schmidt. In the second place, Samantha Richard. And in the first place, ladies and gentlemen, the most votes, Rozy Rana, all the way from Kenya. Congratulations, Rozy. If you can please spotlight Rozy next to me for a second only. Okay, so while you're looking, congratulations, Rozy. Excellent
Thank
job.
you very much, all. I feel very validated and thank you.
But we will find out what the judges have said, Rozy. So we'll see. Okay, now, Mr. Chief Judge, could you please bring the Chief Judge next to me, Patrick?
Hello.
If you can bring a spotlight. Patrick, okay. And we've confirmed and we've put our heads together and we've agreed based on the calculation done by Google Sheets as to who the winner is and who the winners are. So Patrick, all yours.
Thank you very much, the contest chair. After a keenly contested icebreaker speech contest, we have the results. In the third place, we have Talha bin Hamid. Let's give him a round of applause. Congratulations, Talha bin Hamid, DTM. The second place, it's a tie. So I would call on the first in the third, and then the second person in no particular order. Anna Schmidt. Anna Schmidt. Congratulations, Anna. Also in the second place is Yuniati. And for the first place, the judges have indeed concluded. Let the drum roll. Let the drums roll. Let the drums roll for our winner for today's contest, Rozy Rana. Congratulations, Rozy.
Thank
And I
you.
will give it back to our contest chair.
Thank you very
Brahm.
much. If I can just change what's written behind me, and now it should read correctly. There we go. Sorry, I'm typing so quickly, so I may have misspelled a name there. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. The audience and the judges found that Rozy is the overall winner. And then Hannah appears on two of them, one in second place and the other in the third place. So Hannah, you did well. And then Yuniati with his swim, be a rock star or freestyle, was second as well. And then Talha bin Hamid at the end. Wow. So ladies and gentlemen, there we go. If I will ask the Sergeant at Arms to spotlight the audience poll first, all of them together here, so we can take a picture with them. Ladies and gentlemen. So if you can spotlight Samantha, Sandi, and Hannah, and Rozy, we can take a picture. And so while they are doing that, now I will, of course, announce the best overall evaluators as voted in by the audience today. And looks like it is Meena Mohankumar. Congratulations for being the best evaluator, best effort evaluator today. I mean, you had a great opportunity to vote for, of course, Rozy. Could you please spotlight the speakers? Is the names are right here: Rozy, Samantha, Sandi, Emdin, Hannah, so we can take a picture of them. Thank you very much. Mr. Sergeant at Arms and the rest of the team, if you can please spotlight these people. And is Samantha in the room?
Yes, I am.
Oh, perfect. Okay, wonderful. So, Mr. Sergeant at Arms, if you can take a screenshot, this would be great. Thank you very much. Congratulations again for being in the Global Icebreaker Challenge. You've done very well. Thank you for being here. And we will send you your certificates in the email or WhatsApp. Thank you very much. Now, of course, don't take Rozy out because now we want the judges. So it's don't take Rozy and Hannah out, but Yuniati and Talha bin Hamid, if you can add those and remove the others so we can take a picture of the judges. So we'll wait while they're searching for Yuniati and Talha bin Hamid. I've spelled Yuniati incorrectly. It's Y-U-N-A. So if you can look for that, perfect. Mr. Sergeant at Arms, if you can take a screenshot, that'll be great. My computer isn't working, so if you can take that picture, that'll be perfect. And there we go. Okay, now, thank you very much for being in the Global Icebreaker Speech Contest. We will send you your certificates by WhatsApp or email. And now, of course, our evaluator, if you can put in the evaluator, spotlight our evaluator, Meena Mohankumar. Hi, Meena. Congratulations.
Hello, Brahm. Thank you very much. Thank you for the opportunity. And thank you again.
Of course, you
Hearty
just can't win
congratulations
and
to
then
all the
leave,
winners.
Meena. You just can't win and leave. So, we are going to offer you a membership, We'll send you a membership form. It's $55 for 6 months, US dollars, right?
Thank you, Brahm. Yes.
Awesome. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, as I said, we will run it late, way late actually. It's now 11:46. I want to talk to all the guests who are here, but as far as this meeting is concerned, we are adjourned. Thank you everyone for being here, for participating in the Global Icebreaker Challenge. Without the audience, of course, this would have been just an ordinary meeting, but it turned out to be an extraordinary meeting with all the enthusiasm, all the voting that you engaged in, and chose the speaker that you thought was good. Now, of course, you have to compare who you voted for and who the judges voted for and the difference, and based on Fursey's icebreaker delivery as to why you chose what you chose and why did the judges choose who they chose. Of course, unanimous was Rozy, so you perhaps have to look at why did Rozy really win and how you can improve yourselves. With that, as the meeting is already adjourned, I would like to ask the guests, a few of the guests who are still here, for their comments. Of course, I want to, before we go to the guest, I want to also thank Patrick. And I want to say his last name because I'm not sure how it's pronounced. Oluide, West African name, Nigerian. But thank you so much for being our chief judge today.
Oluide.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
Thank you. Okay. And because some of our guests here are our speakers, we will ask some of the speakers here what they thought of the meeting. We'll start with Udhaya. And what did you think? So while Udhaya is looking for his microphone, we'll move on to Samantha.
Thank you, Brahm. When you asked me to participate, I didn't realize it was a mock contest, but it was a really good opportunity because I am going to be entering into this year's contest season. So it was interesting to be part of the experience and really great speeches for everybody. And yes, just a really well-run meeting. So thank you very much. And I'm looking forward to visiting you guys again soon.
Thank you. And of course, you're allowed to become a member in this club, Samantha. We love you. Okay, Udhaya, is your microphone available?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
how did you find our meeting today?
It's wonderful, Brahm. Thanks for the opportunity. This is my first contest as a Toastmaster. I really enjoyed this contest.
Thank you. Welcome. And of course, I won't invite you to be a member because you are still doing your level 1. We are an advanced club. You need at least level 3. But when you complete your level 3, please do come by and let's get you to be a member. Now, of course, let's ask our winner, double winner, Rozy Rana. Rozy, your feedback or whatever you felt or did or anything.
Brahm, they say when you're a Toastmaster, one thing you're not supposed to be is speechless. I'm sort of shaky. I feel validated, and the affirmation has been great, especially since the lineup you had was incredible, and not just of speakers, even of the evaluators. So I admire how you always come up with a very unique program, and once I asked you, what keeps you going? And you said, I wouldn't go on if I didn't keep reinventing, and you've inspired me. I think Leadership Speak is definitely a club of leaders where you not only get uplifted, but you always take away so many nuggets. So thank you for always inviting me, always having me. I really want to be part of this, despite the fact that I know that the latter part today I've had to make some changes. I will have challenges with, but we'll work it out. So thank you again. And congratulations
Thank
to every single one.
Thank you, Rosie. You are a good speaker, and the validation clearly shows that you can go to the levels that I've been urging you to whenever I talk to you. We can go way beyond that even. So that's the challenge from me. I keep pushing, right? People, those who are around leadership speak, get pushed because you need to. You need to grow way beyond what you ever thought was possible. And it is possible without the stress that you might think the stress is involved. It's possible. Look at me.
Yeah. Final comment, and that's what it is. You see, you lift people, you push people, like you make one feel you can always go better. And that's why you're obviously a phenomenal coach. And setting up this club is going to help so many people, myself included. So thank you.
Thank you, Rosie. Take care. Okay, now let's see, who do we have here? My very good friend, Talha bin Hamid.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. First of all, I'm truly grateful to not only you, but my best friend, Rana, another Rana, by the way, because he enlisted me. Like, I wasn't really willing to sign up because, you know, after years of not competing, one gets rusty. And I got that feeling when I heard Rosie speaking about validation, right? You must have passed through the same phase. You become so remote from competing that you completely ignore that aspect. And I was reluctant, I was scared, I was not confident at all in doing well, because there was this feeling deep down that if I were to deliver an icebreaker, it needs to be something different, something unique. I cannot have a run-of-the-mill icebreaker because that will be par for the course, and I would disappoint myself and people who would be expecting something different from a multiple DTM, right? And this point was also mentioned in today's meeting, that what do you do after you've completed several icebreakers? You need to branch out. So I'm truly grateful to him and to you, DTM Brand, because this once again provided me the opportunity to rediscover the joy of competing. It's not about results, although I'm thrilled, beyond thrilled to have placed in the judges' ballot. I was not expecting that at any point, but thank you so much. But even without that, the process, the beautiful stories that one heard in icebreakers, and I have a feeling that it is only icebreakers that, you know, present such stories. So thank you so much for the opportunity. I feel thrilled and elated. Over to you.
Thank you, Talha. Thank you very much. And of course, he leads, by the way, one of the top clubs on the planet. He won't say that, but I can say that for him. I think his club is at number 3 or number 4 currently. Remind me, Talha, on marshals. It was number 2.
It's kind of iffy because the table is all messed up currently. Perhaps in a few weeks the situation will be clear.
Sure.
But we should be in top 5 at the very least.
And where did you end up last year, June 2022?
I think we ended up at number 4.
Number 4 globally. Wow. So now that's who we are talking about here. That's who Talha bin Hamid is. Amazing, amazing guy and wonderful leader in his district. Now, AJ, since you put on your video, please, your wise words, please.
Of all the places to be at during probably the busiest day of the year for districts across Planet Toastmasters, as everyone has their district council going, it was my pleasure to arise at dark 30 this morning after just having been with you and Mariana at dark 30 last night, and to join this wonderful experience. I think you showed the variety, and for me, the importance of having an icebreaker at the start of every path, because we change as we transition on this journey. So kudos to Leadership Speaks for raising the bar, getting, what did we have? Close to 50 plus people
Yes.
joining us this
54.
one.
Yeah.
Exactly. Kudos to Leadership Speaks for all of this. You have my deepest respect and thanks for inviting me to participate today.
Thank you, AJ. We love having you around, so please do visit us as often as you possibly can. Thank you. And Patrick Olyude, are you there still, Patrick?
Yes, I'm here.
Any comments for us? Any of your wisdom?